Hi. If you're a pretty girl, no one wants to be isolated. So what happens is these girls will be treated mean by the other girls, even a little bit, very subtly. So very subtly, they try to make up for it and be nicer so that they are accepted by the group, right? At a very young age. Nobody we know the social structure. This is the way humans are. We're social creatures. Nobody wants to be isolated. So then the pretty girl wants to be accepted by the girls that are being mean because of her beauty. So then she starts to become a little bit nicer. And also, maybe she'll make herself a bit of a clown, or maybe she'll make herself stupid or not taken seriously because she doesn't want to be too threatening, because then she won't be accepted. So then she'll try to downplay herself. Oh, this is ugly. Oh, yeah, there's this, but there's this about me that's wrong, so that she's relatable and acceptable. So what happens is that becomes a pattern, and it's stop doing this if you're doing this and you're a pretty girl, because what happens is it's fruitless. The people that are mean to you are going to continue to be mean to you, because guess what? You are rewarding their poor behavior towards you with being nice. So they're going to be like, hey, I'm mean to her, and she's even more sweet back to me, trying to earn my approval. So I do something bad, she's nice. Hey, I'm going to keep on being mean to her. And so it starts at a very young age, and it's hard to leave this state because you've been doing it for years, and it's the way to get people to accept you. Whether it's an old woman who, and there's nothing wrong with being old, by the way, I'm going to make a video about aging, but whether it's like this older woman who has a messed up idea in her mind about aging and sees your youth and is jealous by it and is mean to you, or, makes you feel a little stupid or talks condescending to you so that she feels better because she thinks, oh, she's really pretty and young, but, I can't take her seriously. She's kind of stupid. Then she's less of a threat, makes her feel better. She's doing that to you. Who cares? Don't do it to yourself, though. Don't you dare keep doing it to yourself. Okay? Stop that. Don't do it to yourself anymore. I'm telling you, stop people pleasing. Stop looking towards other people for approval based on your outside, whether that is you being inauthentic with the way you're acting, and putting all this pressure on how you look as for approval in some way. Because as a pretty girl, you've been taught that it's so messed up because it's a double-edged sword too. So your beauty is something that has always been praised, and so you love it. You've attached your identity to it because you get praise for it. It's a good thing. But then it's a double-edged sword because it's also a way that you are unaccepted by the group, by some girls, because of your beauty. And so then your beauty becomes the reason for you maybe not being as successful in school, or not being as not going after what you truly want and just going for it courageously and just being authentic and loose and free and not thinking about it. It's put you in a cage. So just think about this and all the dynamics that comes with being a pretty girl, and consider, do I want being a pretty girl to even be a part of my identity? If you're watching this video, chances are you're a pretty girl. You clicked on it. If you're a pretty girl, then stop being nice. Okay, I need to hear this. Yes, but maybe you also want to consider to stop making being a pretty girl part of your identity, part of who you are. You are so much more than a pretty girl. Every girl is pretty. Every girl is so beautiful. And I could name like a million girls. I walk into any room, I see 5 of them all at once, and it's beautiful. And so don't make it into something that makes you separate from the group and separate from others, because you are one of many, and we are just all in this together. It's not a big deal to be beautiful. Just be yourself. Dude, just be yourself. I guess it would be more dangerous for the pretty girl to be overly nice because we've been made to look like you want to take care of us. And so if a girl is really pretty, she is most likely not very threatening looking, okay? So maybe she has like big eyes, maybe she's delicate or really curvaceous and soft. I can't describe her because, like, especially as I get older, every year, every day, I'm like more and more open-minded, and I see like the beauty in all. So I can't give a description, but evolutionarily, is that a word? Evolutionarily wise, the faces are not as threatening, and you more like want to take care of them. And so if you're a pretty girl and you're super nice, it's like a double, it's too much, okay? It's too much because no one's gonna take you seriously. With being beautiful, there's that vapid connotation or superficial ditzy connotation, right? Just like that. So you know what I mean. Basically, that connotation is already been solidified in the conscious collective. And so you don't want to, you could, I guess, if you are strategizing something in some way, I mean, be whoever you want, whatever, if it's authentic to you. But if you're a pretty girl, how do I say? Oh my god, if you're beautiful, it's gonna be like too much, and people are gonna think you're really stupid. They're gonna be mean, and they're gonna love to their egos are going to love to be mean to you because it's gonna validate inside of them that equalization of, yeah, they're they're beautiful, but I'm smarter, so we're equal. And that's just all an ego, like, rat race. It's all an illusion. None of that's real. There's no comparison of intelligence or beauty, but they love it. The people love it. The the ego loves to play this game. So let's look at this for a second objectively from a bird's eye view and see how being somebody that doesn't look as threatening and has been used for their looks more than their intelligence or more than their power, their strength, or whatever, to create things in this world. They more are used for their charm. So a lot of times it's seen as this superficial thing. And what happens is, when people project that onto you for a long time, you're gonna start to embody it too, if you're not conscious enough, and it's gonna soak in. The way to like create these boundaries and not allow other people's projections onto you is by knowing who you are, being conscious, being present, and being aware of the moment, of who you are in the moment. Then you're kind of untouchable. But if you're unaware, unconsciously, autopilot going throughout, reacting to people and life, then you're going to react to those projections and come across as really easy to step over, really easy to manipulate, and kind of stupid. And then that's just gonna really be extra hard for you if you're a pretty girl, because it's gonna be put on you in a way that's heavier and just more by more people, and in a way that is heavier because it's doubly. It's like the same thing. I would compare it as to wearing, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but to wearing a hot pink dress. A dress is already ultra feminine, and the color hot pink is ultra feminine. So maybe for your birthday, or like, I don't know, your personality, you might want to wear that. But if you were to wear a hot pink dress to a regular day or to a party, then it might be seen as a little too much versus a black dress, because the black will contrast, because black is not ultra feminine, but the dress is, and in that way balances each other out. So kind of think of it that way, like you are very beautiful. So you kind of need to balance that by not being quite so charming and smiley and nice, because it's so much that people are going to see it as a flat, this is you are exactly what I see and perceive, and there's nothing on the inside. And you don't want that projected onto you, especially if you're somebody that does not meditate and you are not very present and aware of the moment. You're in a reactive state with people. You don't want that onto you, because then your life is just going to be for the worse with that. So you do want to have this boundary, this wall up of a more face that is, you can smile, but don't be so much. Just be genuine, but maybe rein it in a little until you know you can trust them to not take advantage of you. Okay? Does that make sense? And I'm saying this like I'm talking to my younger self here. So yeah, I think that's it. And it's hard because, like, if you have a good heart and you're somebody like me where you always see the best in people and you don't know when you're being taken advantage of, then you're gonna just be super nice to everybody, and a lot of them are gonna be thinking these things about you that is just not true and unfair. And I don't want that to be put onto you. Honestly, I don't want that to be put on any woman. You deserve so much better. So protect yourself, okay? You are a valuable gem. And even like when you're not wearing makeup, even if you are not societally pretty, even if you are, I don't know, like this or that, very old, very young, like whatever the case is, you are beautiful. You are a gem to be protected no matter what you look like. Like, you deserve to protect yourself, especially as a woman. So protect yourself no matter what, and don't rely on the outside validation and perceptions of others to dictate how you perform, because you're not a performance monkey. You are a valuable human being. You offer so much more than what is on the outside. Don't shrink yourself to make your friends feel comfortable. And also, a lot of times, I have to say this, it's in your head. So, let me get some water really quick. it's not it's not your fault that you're beautiful, especially like your natural beauty, even without makeup. So when I was younger, before I got my glasses and went into middle school, I'd say, is when I had my ugly duckling phase. And me personally, my ugly duckling stage was from 5th grade to like after high school even. And I like made myself that way. And even after, it's funny because I had really negative thinking, and so I went from being beautiful to uglier and uglier and uglier, trying to I was trying to focus on my beauty on the outside so much, because as a kid I was naturally beautiful, so I put a lot of my identity on that beauty, and I was told by people all the time how beautiful I was. And then I started to think, I started to get an attachment to that identity. Okay, I have to be beautiful. And that attachment caused me to become ugly because of all the thoughts and the fear based around beauty and trying so hard. So then I internally was dealing with this struggle, which showed on the outside. And it wasn't until more recently in my life that I let go of my attachment of beauty and became beautiful once again. Even without makeup, I know right now I've got stuff going on, but I am naturally beautiful. And as a girl, as a young child, I was very beautiful. And people would tell me all the time, And so, yeah, it became a part of my identity. And you know what sucks is when you're a kid, being told that you're beautiful all the time, like it's unhealthy. It's not good for the child because I even like recently during a meditation had a flashback of my dad. Every time there was a beautiful woman on the TV when we were watching movies as a family, he would say, "Oh, but she's not as pretty as our Katie," or "she's not as beautiful as our girl." And compare them to me, and that like made me compare myself to women, and it was just really weird because I never wanted to compare myself. That's not what any child wants. That's not what any of us want deep down to our souls. And so once you release that and find your true self, you will once again shine with your beauty if you're going through anything like that right now. But I just want to say that. And yeah, if you're beautiful naturally, so what's going to happen is, well, what happened with me was that girls and people would compliment me a lot. And then eventually, I was taught this way that if you are not humble, then you are really superficial and narcissistic, right? And so what I did, what I thought I had to do was play it down, say no, to point out my flaws if someone pointed a compliment to me. And I thought in a weird way that this was going to make those around me feel better about themselves. And maybe it did for the people that really need healing in that area, that get happy from other people's pain. But if I look within myself, and I'm sure if you look within yourself, if you have a good heart, and if you can feel your true soul essence, you deep down know that you will not gain happiness from other people's pain. And so considering that, why would you assume that to be that way for them with your pain? Because it's not for you, so why would it be for them, right? Okay, so that makes some sense, right? If you were in their shoes, you would not be happy from someone else's pain. So don't put that onto them and make them out to be this evil person that would gain some type of happiness from your pain. That's not the case. And if that is the case, you probably don't want to be around them, and they can, you know, with love, isolate yourself, let them go heal, send them loving energy and thoughts like they desperately need to heal. If you want to stop shrinking in front of people, then you have to stop seeing them as less than yourself. You're going to have to see that they too are equally beautiful, and many people honestly would probably say they're more beautiful than you. And just because you're stereotypically maybe beautiful, or in your mind you've been told the story that you're beautiful so much, and so you think you're beautiful, but many people would say you're ugly. Just like myself, right? I'm talking about myself here. So like many people would say I look ugly, many people would say I look beautiful. Does that affect me one way or the other? No, because I know who I am. Did it used to? Yes, totally. And so back then, when it used to, what would happen is I would shrink myself when I was around people that I thought were not as beautiful as I was. And that's so dumb because I'm sure most of the time they were more beautiful than me, number one. Or many people would say they're more beautiful than me. You're being inauthentic. You're not being in harmony and consistent. You should be the same person no matter who you're with. You shouldn't, around women that you think are more beautiful around yourself, try to impress them and raise yourself up and show the best parts of yourself. And then around women that are you think are less than you in your mind, and then you're not doing that. That's weird. That's really weird. Just be the same person. Be authentic. Just be the same person no matter who you're with, no matter like whether you're talking to somebody's husband and you are like, oh, like I don't want them to be, interested in me sexually, so I'm gonna like hunch a little bit more, and like I'm not gonna be as sexy versus like when I'm on a date, or I'm talking to my girls, I'll be more shoulders back and like free and just not thinking. No, like, don't overthink it. Just be yourself no matter who you're talking to, and don't worry about it, because people are going to be triggered one way or another by different things. They're going to perceive you however they perceive you, whether that's beautiful or ugly or whatever, and it should not affect how you are. If you're a naturally beautiful girl, guess what? Other girls are going to be a little bit catty towards you. First impression wise, they're going to look for things to judge you for. I never knew this. Growing up, and even now, I truly just see the best in people. And when I'm talking to them, I will never look at their flaws. I won't try to see their weaknesses or what's wrong with them. But it turns out, if you're a pretty girl, a lot of the time, and I hate to spread this, I hate saying this because I do not want to spread girl on girl hate. I think that we are, as a society, healing a lot of these wounds and getting to a way better place, thankfully, where there's less judgmentalness, less jealousy between women. I really think that's happening, and it's so beautiful. And I don't want to just stay in this old area and say, this is the way life is, it sucks. No, there's definitely possibility for growth here, but this is the world I grew up in personally, and I think there's a lot of lingering, like, this is a common thing still. So basically, if you're a pretty girl watching this, I just wish that somebody told me this. People will be looking for your flaws, and so instead of you trying to make yourself more relatable and likable by expressing your flaws to people, stop that right now and let them be salty or angry, whatever. Who cares? The thing is, there's always going to be another pretty girl. There's always going to be beautiful women all over, and it's not your job to make people comfortable. So if there's a bunch of other pretty girls out there that are not shrinking, and you are, then this person who is upset by your beauty, if they come in contact with another pretty girl, it's gonna happen all over again. And so you shrinking is not going to help them heal as a person. That's their journey. That's something that they're gonna have to heal. And hey, look at it this way. If you're triggering people, then you're helping bring light to the surface, what needs to be healed in them. And so let them feel uncomfortable by that, and it will eventually help them awaken as a person and see, like, hey, I need to heal this part of myself. So in a way, you're helping them. So just stay your beautiful self. Don't point out your flaws. So just to do a little recap here. Starts at a young age. It's put upon you, but you have the ability to now leave this. You're rewarding bad behavior, so you're going to just create more of it. You are projecting your own fears onto people, which is unfair, and it's something that needs to be healed within yourself. Let go of that attachment. And yeah, stop making it a part of your identity to even be a pretty girl in the first place. You are so much more than that, and don't rely on it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it while you're talking to people about how you look. I think that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you in the